All right, folks, we are back, and I want to thank you so much for tuning into the Marketplace Show Reset. I'm Anthony Weeks, executive producer and host of the Marketplace Show Reset and JumpStart here on WSCX 970 AM, live on the Callaloo Network, live on several social media platforms, and broadcasting on Tempo Television. And I see my colleague is with us, Terry. Hi, Terry. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? That last one was really powerful.
Yeah, it was an incredible, touching segment for me. Sometimes you just have to stand still and just listen, observe, and because sometimes when you gotta know your lane, right? You gotta know when you have something to say and something to offer, something to share. But when someone else has something that they want to impart to you, all you can do is just stand and listen and receive it. And it was just an incredible piece from attorney Bridget Greer on her testimony.
Yeah, and that poem that she shared at the end was really touched me. The fact that this gentleman said, once I'm dead, I'd like to give it all away still, right? I'd like to continue to give life to those that need it, that deaf person and that blind person can have my eyes, and, that kid in a car accident can have my blood, just knowing, and just knowing people that could have used body, the organs just touches my heart in a special way. And I thought about a district attorney I used to work for in Brooklyn, Joe Hines, a year ago, and he donated his body to science. And I just, it's something that I really never thought about doing. But the fact that he said, if my body could be used to save others' lives, then I would like to donate my body to do that. And so I thought about that when she was reading the poem. So it was really, really powerful. Thanks, Linda and Carolyn for an awesome segment. Thanks, Dr. Greer, for sharing her testimony and just helping us to understand that we can still do more, even in death. And I think that was the most powerful thing about that poem that she read.
Yeah, especially in these rather incredible times that we're in, where the resiliency of the human genome is tested. We're going through a lot, and it's an understatement, of course. But when you have COVID, you're literally sucking the oxygen out of the room, and everything else is sort of in the shadows of what's happening with COVID. Life doesn't stop.
Right.
Life continues. Right. In all of its frailties and complexities that we are confronted with on a daily basis. And so we need to be reminded that that while COVID is the 800-pound gorilla in the room, that we need to be mindful and cognizant of the fact that life continues.
That's right.
With all of its wonderful attributes, but it's just as agonizing for many others that are having to deal with trying to manage a pandemic and their normal lives.
Right, which is why this show is really important in the marketplace and jumpstart the economy, because there is life after dead situations, right? So right now, a lot of our small businesses are facing a lot of difficulties, and with Congress passing the stimulus and now us talking about having a platform, not just talking about it, but having a platform and jumpstarttheeconomy.us where individuals, small businesses can go on and actually put life back into their business by getting this PPP loan that could be 100% forgiven. And so, while we talk about COVID, the 800-pound gorilla, we now want to bring some kind of energy back into the room, into our businesses, by allowing businesses to apply for this PPP, but also by allowing them to understand that in the marketplace, in the Jumpstart the Economy, they can come on each week, get the tools, the tips, and the nuggets from us. They can go on to the website and see the information again, but more importantly, they can sell their widget on the website as well. And so I'm super excited, today to be a part of this. And I see Karen joined us, and
Hey, Karen.
Day,
Terry. Loving the green. You would think we're in the same closet.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right. It's St. Patty's Day, isn't it?
That's right.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
I'm not wearing green though. I feel kind of bad. I feel kind of left out here.
Yeah, but you're the money talk guy.
Yeah, that's right. So he's about the green. He's about the green, right? He's about keeping businesses in black. He's about the green.
Yeah. Well, I since we did the show last week, Carolyn and Linda was, obviously continued to beat the drum to kind of let folks know that, help is here.
That's right.
And speaking of green and money, in the tune of an additional $1.9 trillion. Mm-hmm. So between the Trump administration of $900 billion and the Biden administration of $1.9 trillion, you're talking about a $2.8 trillion American rescue plan.
That's right.
Let me say that again.
Unheard of.
Almost $3 trillion
with a T
to rescue.
That's right.
These United States of America.
That's right.
And all of the important segments of the society to make sure that we have the resources, the financial resources this time around, because when President Biden ran, he said he was going to make sure that his approach to dealing with the pandemic was going to be all encompassing.
That's right.
He was going to make sure that the states, the cities, private sector, Americans, nonprofit enterprises and for-profit enterprises, and the schools and the hospitals, the police officers, the firemen, all the frontline workers were going to get the help that they need. And he kept his word. He kept his word. 50 days into office, he kept his word. And he's to be commended for that.
That's right.
And so in this segment, which we focus on business, economy, and public policy, last week we did a special broadcast, a 3-hour focus on the PPP when the deadline was March 31st, 2021. They've now extended, which we anticipated that it was going to be extended, and it got extended until May. But it doesn't mean an extension means you now kind of sort of take your foot off the pedal and say, okay, I have all the time in the world, so I will take my time and do this. While that is something that you ought to do anyway, whether there is an urgency at time certain, the fact is, keep in mind, this is a very competitive process. Competitive means that it's first come, first serve. Okay, the funds will be depleted. It will be depleted. It can be depleted before the May expiration date. So don't become complacent and think you have all the time in the world, because it's now extended until May. That when you're ready, the monies are going to be there. I think after the $1.9 trillion, I don't think we're going to see anytime soon another rescue plan, in the near future. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. What do you think?
I don't think they will be either. And so I encourage the listeners to go and get their financials in order, make sure they're applying for the funding. Understand that it can be up to 100% forgivable. And, some of our guests spoke about that last week. And so it's really important for them to do it now. Like Anthony said, keep your foot on the gas. You've already started the process, continue through, make sure that you are getting the funds to put the money back into your business so that you can continue to thrive and grow. And so I don't think there'll be another rescue plan, but I do believe, and I do know that we have resources to help the small businesses to get it done. So you should be getting it done now, especially now during tax season. You have to get your taxes together now. So I think that we should be getting our PPP loans in if we need the money.
I will also agree with you both that there is hardly a reason to, there's not a group that is excluded. The commitment of President Biden really was about making sure that families and communities who were previously, the most challenged are included in this package.
That's
The
right.
mom and pop shops, this particular legislature actually touches on the areas that frontline workers, as you mentioned before, but the different economies, the different sectors, it literally goes down to a municipal interest. We're
That's
talking about school workers, and it even also expands the occupational entry. For example, one of the areas, it talks about how much funds is available for healthcare workers in your local communities. That's almost an introduction to academia. There's different areas of even studies. So there's hardly an area. It's almost like, if you look at it, what the GI Bill was like, but just right?
Yeah.
Because now we're looking at, for example, there's a lot there to do with the pandemic, the literal pandemic disease, but the effects of it, housing, childcare, back to school interests, the education merits. I mean, there's hardly anything that's left out of this recovery package. So like you both said, it's critical that we catch the time, because even the previous show, April, those girls were beautiful. Our sisters were, it was something else.
Powerful.
Yeah, really, in so many ways. I too am a donor. So we need to get that message out there. The stigma of Black people don't know how to give organs to save lives. We are keepers.
Right.
To go back to this point, it's critical that we look at this entire legislative document, because the real mission of this rescue package, as proposed, is that it's a direct relief for families bearing the brunt of the COVID-19 crisis and to support struggling communities. And we know how many folks, one of the areas there is the direct funding, I think it's 22 million or billion for childcare. Lots of people couldn't go to work, and there you are, Terry. There are folks who need to get back to work, childcare workers, not just healthcare workers. There's a great deal to protect children while people get back to work. So I'm really excited about this piece, and I think you're right. It's time for us to not just move on empowering companies, but this too is for those who people are employees and not employers.
James Richards on Facebook, I think the consensus is he's agreeing, no more rescues. I don't think people are going to expect. I think the politics, the atmosphere in Washington is such. It's going to be. I think they'll be hard pressed to agree on another rescue plan.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I think this is where the rubber meets the road. And thank you so much for that, James, in terms of sharing your thoughts with us. I think this is where the rubber is going to meet the road. And people, this is why I want this show, and going forward, we talk about what's in this Biden $1.9 trillion plan, because we need to provide a good overview and a comprehensive overview of what's in it. The good news is, what I would like to share, we between last week and today, we have about a dozen businesses who have submitted their loan application. And so businesses are responding. Obviously, a dozen in the grand scheme of things is not a significant number, but it says that people are responding to the fact that there are funds available to them to be able to help them navigate this current economic environment that they're in. What we're going to do as a lender partner, SETI as a lender partner, we as a nonprofit, we work closely with a number of strategic organizations in order to deliver what we believe are the solutions that you need to help move things along, to not stymie the process, or to stifle the process. But people need to understand what's available and how do you go about getting it done. And so we're going to make all of the funds available under the SBA Paycheck Protection Program forgivable loan. We're going to do our part, and we're going to make sure those funds get to the people that need it. Throughout the United States, in every 50 states, we have the ability to be able to help you get the needed funds, that the monies that you need to be able to run your business, to operate your business, including in the U.S. territories as well. So if you are in any of the 50 United States and the U.S. territory, I'm going to invite you now to go to www.applyppp.info. Again, www.applyppp, which stands for Paycheck Protection Program. Again, applyppp.info. And you will have the opportunity to, at your convenience and at your leisure, to be able to submit your information, your application remotely. Okay, you don't have to go in any place. You can. We facilitate the process for you, or we design the process where you're able to do this in a very seamless, easy, and accessible fashion. What we're also going to do for you is for every business that signs up for the PPP, we're also going to give you the ability to enable you to run your business successfully online. We're going to give you the tools to be able to not only help transform your business and to retool your business, because obviously you're in a new environment. And so the ability to your ability to do business with your customer, to stay in touch with your customer, no matter what stage, what phase you're in, that you have the ability to be able to continue to service the market, service the consumer, and continue to maintain and sustain your relationship with your existing customer base. And so if your customer can't come into your place of business, but they have a place, we provide a place for you as a business owner, where we will give you the tool to still do business, whether you have a website or not. We'll go through the detail. We'll tell you what we offer you, but it will cost you nothing to register, to sign up for free. You can sign up for free for this program if you are one of those folks that are signing up to get a PPP loan. We will also give you the tools that you need to be able to do business online with whomever, whenever you want to do that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really a good opportunity, especially now with the digital transformation for most businesses. Most businesses have transformed online, and some haven't been able to because they don't have the tools. So I think that's really super exciting, to offer that along with an easy way for them to apply for the payroll protection program. So I'll go onto the website, apply for the program, and then you give them the tools to, to get up to digital speed on your business. So thanks a lot for sharing that information. And give us the website one more time, Anthony.
Yeah, www.applyppp.info. www.applyppp.info. INFO. www.applyppp.info.
And one thing I want to let you guys know, I had my daughter who has a small business, Bella Brown Girls, and it's a business that sends packages. When you were in college, you get a care package, right? And you were so excited every time you got a care package for Black and brown women that are going through mental illness. She decided, we'll pick a person and she'll send them a free care package. And a care package includes a book and some spa stuff. And so she went on and applied for PPP on our website. And then she actually told her colleague about it, and she wanted and applied as well. And so they said that it was super easy for them to do that. And so, we're getting the word out. If you want to apply for the PPP, we have a platform now here that you can do it, and it's easy to do. Just get your financials together, sit down, and it'll tell you 15 minutes to do it, or half an hour. And it'll tell you when you're almost through. So when I did the process, it was like 50% through, 60% through. And then when you're finished, it'll say congratulations, and all your information is uploaded. So I encourage you to do that, because this is one of the simpler versions of submitting your application. So I encourage small businesses, if you need the money, the payroll protection program, 60% forgiven for payroll, but there's also other things, your utilities, your supplies, If there was some kind of destruction of your business along COVID times, all of those things can be included, and it could be forgiven up to 100%. So it's a great opportunity for you to take advantage of that.
Now, before we I'm sorry, go ahead, Karen.
I got a lot of questions from last week's show, and there are folks who would like to get some more information on being entrepreneurs, those small business owners who have their for example, the gardener, the mailman, the delivery persons. If there's a way for us next week, Anthony, I would even encourage us to probably spend some more time on doing that special piece for those folks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This process has just started. It's you're talking about a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of work to be done. The important thing is, a lot of people are, Karen, like you said, they're just kind of overwhelmed, right? It's a lot of information. People need the right guidance. They need to be directed in the right direction as to how to go about this. And we're gonna do an overview, right? Because this segment number 2 is on business, economy, and public policy. And clearly President Biden, the Biden administration, as a policy perspective, they champion getting the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan passed. So this is policy now. This is now implementation. Both President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are going to now go on the road.
They are on the road.
They're on the road, and they are going to, talk about the work that they're doing. And so, Karen, you want to be able to, you were saying something, you want to share something with that?
So I'm saying that all the areas that we discussed, education, healthcare services, social services, colleges, tuitions, you name it, they're literally out there on the ground. Earlier in the first segment, there are still states that are like Florida that I'm living in, where one of our senators, Scott, and even our governor, they're refusing and making the assumption that we don't need to get these resources. And so our Vice President and President Biden are literally on the road, making sure that people get to understand what this rescue plan is. Because truthfully, it's not Americans, regardless of your party, we all have been affected by this situation in our society. And so we're making sure that this information is out there to municipal districts, communities, and in every spectrum of our survival. This is what's happening on the ground.
Isn't amazing? Sorry, Carrie. Isn't amazing? The people who needs it less are the ones that are well-to-do. Rick Scott, former Governor Rick Scott, and he's a U.S. Senator. He's a very wealthy man. He's a very wealthy man. And Governor Scott is the governor of Florida. These are very powerful, wealthy men telling people who are suffering, or telling states not to accept this.
Anthony, this guy was an insurance person. Florida has the highest geriatric population. And everyone who knows that post this pandemic, as long as you were exposed to COVID, you're going to have a pre-existing condition. We still don't have a Medicare extension. We have no funding for Medicaid in the state of Florida. And so this is an opportunity. They did not.
Look at Terry's face.
Medicaid. I'm sorry.
Same thing. We're at a point where we definitely need. So this COVID recovery for us is basically going to help folks who have been insured. And folks are going to need this kind of support post the pandemic. So these are all the things that are happening here, Anthony, because I know you partially have a Floridian life too. So we're going to have, this is good news. Good news for teachers going back to work. Good news for schools for proper ventilation. Schools will now be able to accept school districts to accept the resources needed to update their venting systems, expand rooms and school sizes. I mean, it goes on. We're talking about our TSA workers at the airport, or farmers and immigrant workers who have not been able. They're providing our food, and they're also going to be able to benefit from how we go about getting them not only vaccinated, but how we go about providing the environment that's safe and conducive for proper health and breathing. So all these things are included in this rescue plan.
So the Journal of Accountancy did a really good write-up, and I wanted to share that information. And they did this in anticipation, obviously, of the passage of the American Rescue Plan of the $1.9 trillion. And so it says here that the U.S. Small Business Administration issued new Paycheck Protection Program rules that allow self-employed individuals who file Form 1040 Schedule C, profit or loss from business, to calculate their maximum loan amount using their gross income instead of net profit. The change opens the door for large loans to self-employed individuals, many of whom don't record much, if any, not net profit on their Schedule C. The calculation change is detailed in this report on page number 32, which I'm reading from. But here's some of the takeaway, the bullet points, right? It says updated PPP borrower first drawer, Form 2483, and second drawer, Form 2483-SD. So they're two separate forms. So if you did the first drawer, the form that you use was Form 2483. The second drawer is the same form, but it's 2483-SD, as like S small and D for development application forms. The new PPP first drawer form, which is 2483-C, and the second drawer which is Form 2483-CD-C, borrower's application form for second Schedule C filers using their gross income. The revised lender application form for PPP loan guarantee is Form 2484. And the last one here says revised PPP second drawer lender application form is 2484-SD. And it says here that the new interim final rule titled Business Loan Program Temporary Changes, Paycheck Protection Program Revision to Loan Amount Calculation and Eligibility revises the maximum loan calculation for sole proprietors who file Schedule C returns, but the change is not retroactive. The SBA and Treasury have ruled that borrowers whose PPP loans already have been approved cannot increase their loan amount based on the new methodology.
You know, that's good news. There's also another section in this rescue, which there are three areas that I think is kind of new to us. And one of them has to do with providing an extended sick leave for families up to 14 weeks paid. That wasn't
that is new. That is new, correct?
That is new. Yep, that's new. And there's also the tuition educational meant for advanced studies, which is also new for colleges that are. I'm trying to find the exact funding amount as well. Reimburse employees with less than 500 employees the cost of sick leave. That's going to be. This is in this legislator. There's also the expansion. I was saying there's $5 billion for childcare. So we're talking about, as you said before, there's hardly a way that we're going to have this replicated. For one, Congress is going to have it very difficult to present anything beyond this, and so we need to take advantage. There's 5 million extended assistant workers for those who have exhausted their workers' compensation benefits. There's also an emergency rescue there for them. So we really can't see how this is not going to rescue our country. Everything is here.
Absolutely.
It's all inclusive.
Absolutely. What I'd like to do is let's take a break. When we come back on the other side, we'll continue our discussion here. Again, this is just the beginning of the work we are doing, the work that has to be done collectively as a group. Our colleagues are in their respective states and region. We cover everything. JumpStart economy we cover obviously in the New York tri-state area with Terry Coxum, and then we have the state of Florida that is covered by Dr. Karen Green, and then we have the Washington D.C. area which is covered by Linda Dorman and Carolyn Howell, that is covering that market. And in Atlanta, we have our other colleagues that are in the Atlanta market as well, in which we'll cover. But it doesn't matter where you are in the country. It doesn't, if you're watching this program, you're listening to this program, we are here for you. This program is designed, it's called Reset, because we have hit the reset button to help you navigate this new norm that we have in terms of a new way of doing business. And so when we come back after this break, we'll continue the conversation here on the Marketplace Reset Show and JumpStart TV. We'll be right back.
PPP became the gap. Seriously, the line between open and close.
Hi, I'm Randy Wistoff, Director of the Kansas City Zoo. We were able to receive a PPP loan through working with a local bank.
The SBA loan has helped us at the perfect time to be able to make payroll.
The PPP loan helped us in a way where we did not have to sacrifice our personal savings.
Thanks to PPP loans, Group Living is able to continue providing needed services to people who have a developmental disability.
Hi, this is Claire Otto with Sugar Divas Cakery. PPP money has helped us bring the entire team back.
So with the PPP loan, what it's done is it's really helped us keep our pivot going and keep our people working.
The PPP has certainly helped stabilize this company. It has allowed us to be sure that each employee would receive his or her normal take-home pay so that they're able to carry on with their lives.
Hi, my name is Chris Ayers, and I'm the president of A-List Limousine and Transportation. Because of the SBA loan, we were able to bring most of our employees back. We're excited to say that we're making a difference in our community.
Long story short, PPP came along, allowed us to bring back furloughed workers.
The PPP loan helped us expedite the process of bringing our weekend employees back quickly, so they were only out for a month.
We're happy to report the zoo is open again. We couldn't have done this without the help of the SBA and the PPP loan.
It relieved the pressure off of having to meet a certain sales goal.
Things just popped quick. We now have up to 13 people working, and that is within, I'm going to say, about a 7-day period. And we're able to do that because of the PPP.
You know, we were able to keep all of our staff thanks to the PPP loan that we were able to secure.
The PPP loan, we applied for it and we got, which has been incredibly helpful.
Once the PPP came in, I was super excited because the funds were there to take care of staff.
The PPP coming in was a huge release.
And so if not for the PPP, we would have really suffered. It would have been horrible. We were able to bring back dozens of employees much earlier than, had we not had PPP.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that program, I don't know where we would be right now. Because it took a lot of weight off of us.
And the PPP really has been instrumental in helping us fill that gap.
Having that paycheck protection has actually really took some stress off of them as well.
PPP was a true lifeline.
Thank you for what you do for America.
So thank you so much to everybody.
Thanks, SBA.
The Paycheck Protection Program has been an incredibly successful federal disaster response, thanks to the President's leadership and the combined efforts of the U.S. Treasury Department and the SBA.
We're back, and thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Marketplace Reset Show and JumpStart. I'm Anthony Weeks, executive producer and host of the Marketplace Show. I'm also the managing director of SETI. SETI is, we are a macroeconomic and public policy think tank in the area of business, economic, project, and community development. We garner all of the necessary resources that you need for the purpose of continuing to grow and expand our economy, to empower small businesses, to help small businesses to continue to grow and prosper. Whether we're in a pandemic or outside of a pandemic, that's what that's why we're here. We are here to help make capital available. We're here to make sure that technology is available to be able to enable you to do the things that you need to do to run your business in a very proficient, efficient, and seamless manner. That's why we're here. This is who we are. And we want to invite you as a lender partner of the SBA Paycheck Protection Program forgiveness loan. We are one of the conduits. We are one of the lenders for the SBA loans that's available. There is a great deal of funding available for you as a small business. There are different kinds of small businesses, but Main Street businesses, the mom and pop, the self-employed, the independent contractor, sole proprietor, partners, you name it. This time around, the President Biden wanted to ensure and make sure that you were part of this process. So we invite you now, as you're listening and watching this program, we can provide you, get the funding that you need. We have the funds to make it possible for you to borrow the forgiveness loan of the PPP loan. Go to www.applyppp, that's 3 P's, www.applyppp.info, www.applyppp.info. When you get there, again, don't take my word for it. The system is designed. It's very user-friendly. It's intuitive. You can start, you can stop. The system works with you to help you gather what you need to complete the process. And so wherever you left off, you're able to pick back up again in terms of getting the necessary information that you need to get you ultimately approved and qualified because you are eligible to get this loan. And so we invite you to do that. And so my colleague and I are continuing to have this discussion on this program. We will resume next week where we will take another deep dive in what it will take to continue to provide you the guidance that you need to help you get access to the funds, because that's what we do. We, as a community development organization, we are a nonprofit organization, and our job is to help you, to give you the tools to help you to succeed, to help you to survive, to help you to sustain your business, to help keep your employees employed, and to help them take care of their families. That's why we're here. And like I said, when you sign up for the PPP, we're also going to make it possible for you to have the ability, whether you have a website or you don't have a website, we're going to give you the tools that you need to help you to succeed on how to do business online. And when I say online, I'm talking about being able to do business with whomever, whenever, wherever you want to do business, because the internet is making it possible for the economy to continue to exist, and for companies to exist and continue to be able to do business. And so we will not only give you the funds that you need, making sure that all those are eligible. We take you through the approval process, the qualification process to get approved, but we'll also give you the technology tools and resources where you sign up. You can sign up for free for this technology service that we're talking about. And so we invite you to go to applyppp.info, www.applyppp.info to see, to pretty much submit whatever loan amount that you need to qualify. You can get up to $2 million. You can get up to $2 million in terms of the SBA forgiveness loan program for the PPP. So please, if you need the capital, if you need the funding, it's there for you. So please take advantage of it.
One thing I would add for those that that didn't get an opportunity for the deep dive forum last week, where we talked about the PPP in full detail, and we had a couple of guests. You can go on to www.jumpstarttheeconomy.us, and you have access to the videos from last week, and the videos will explain to you how to apply for PPP, who's eligible to apply for PPP. It'll also give you any particular details about your industry, and so I definitely encourage you to go on and take advantage of that video if you weren't able to catch last week. And also, one of the things I see, Linda Dorman says she's a testament that it's user friendly. So thank you for that, for letting people know. But the other thing is, when I went in to apply, you answer a few yes and no questions, and it'll let you know if you're eligible. So you won't waste time on this particular platform. So I'm asking those that are listening to us today, if you believe that you're eligible but you're not certain, go on, and there in the beginning of the application, you'll fill out a few questions, and they'll let you know if you're eligible to apply for the PPP. And that was also really helpful for me when I was when I went in to apply for the loan. So take advantage of that. You know, we're here. We're going to give you the tools, the tips, the nuggets. We're going to take another deep dive next week. But more importantly, the money is available now. So we're encouraging you to go on now, see if you're eligible, and then get your paperwork together and apply for the loan. And you'll be able to be forgiven up to 100%.
Terry, thank
Yeah,
you.
Karen, that's a good point Terry made. And thank you for that, Terry. That, you know, you can go back, and the experts that we had on the show, the guests that we had on the show, if you missed the show last week, you can go back to our website and literally take your time and really digest the information that was given in last week's show. And so, Terry, thank you so much for reminding me that folks have that flexibility, or that option, I should say, to be able to go back and watch the show and get that information as well.
Yeah, that was really important for a few folks this week. They did go back and were able to, because it was in segments, we're able to direct them to the different areas of interest. So it was, thank you, Terry, for reminding us of having that access.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we continue looking at what's in this new 1.9 American Rescue Plan, the acronym of IFN, which is known as the Interim Final Rule, because again, while they pass the which is now the new American Rescue Plan, which is now law on the books, the SBA has the responsibility for implementing the program. And so as they're implementing, they're making changes, right? And so according to the interim final rules, the IFR, some of the things that they talked about in the IFR, it provides different set of maximum loan calculation instruction for Schedule C filers with no employees. Again, this time, unlike the first go around, okay, you had to have employees.
That's right.
This time, you don't. It's not about whether you have employees or not. It's about you being either self-employed, an independent contractor, sole proprietor, okay, that you now are eligible. So if you are a one-man shop, one man or one woman shop, okay, a one man, one woman show, you are eligible for this new round of funding. Okay. And according to the rules, it says here that the IFR provides different set of maximum loan calculation instructions for Schedule C filers with no employee. It says here, and with employees, these borrowers may use their PPP proceeds to cover the following: owner compensation, if net profit is used, or proprietor expenses, business expenses plus owner compensation if gross income is used, employee payroll costs, mortgage interest payments, business rent payments. You have business utility payments for borrowers entitled to claim a deduction for such expenses on their 2019 or 2020 Schedule C, depending on which one was used to calculate the loan amount. Then you have interest payments on any other debt incurred before February 15th, 2020. These are not eligible for PPP loan forgiveness. Let me say that again so you got that clear. Interest payments on any other debt incurred before February 15, 2020. These are not eligible for PPP loan forgiveness. Then you have covered operations expenditures. You have, as defined in Section 7A A of the Small Business Act, to the extent they are deductible on Schedule C. Covered suppliers' costs, as defined in Section 7AA of the Small Business Act, to the extent they are deductible on Schedule C. Covered workers' protection expenditures, as defined in Section 7AA of the Small Business Act, to the extent they are deductible on Schedule C. And it says here to mitigate the risk of fraud, because a lot of people are concerned that they're not doing something wrong. If you hear a lot of people are concerned, well, if I did this already and I do this now, I might commit any kind of fraud. It says that to mitigate the risk of fraud, a Schedule C filer that reports more than $150,000 gross income to calculate its first draw PPP loan will not be able to claim the safe harbor provided for borrowers that, together with their affiliates, receive PPP loans of less than $2 million. The SBA said it is eliminating the loan necessity safe harbor for these borrowers because they may be more likely to have other available sources of liquidity to support their business operation than Schedule C filers with lower level of gross income. What do you say, ladies?
I think that is extremely informative. There were two things that I think we needed to remind folks, that this PPP application is not based on your individual credit. I think that was a real part where people were deterred from applying because they thought this would disqualify many people. Folks who haven't worked for a year, they're hardly able to pay their bills, and to have a credit rating that would be commendable at this point. So for these reasons, I believe this legislature was done to facilitate that kind of accommodation. So your credit is not a deterrent. You can still go ahead and try and pre-qualify. And then there was another part of what you just read, Anthony, that allows a person who has a sole proprietor to pay themselves. Their salary is basically included in that application funding.
Absolutely. You're muted, Terry. You're muted.
You were talking about that earlier, Karen. You were talking about the sole proprietors and some of the questions that came up for you. Individuals were asking you about, the gardener or the hairdresser, or any of those. They're eligible to apply, and so I encourage them to go back and look at the tape from last week on the recordings on what we talked about, but also to go onto the website, onto www.applyppp.info and start the application process. And so that's what we're here for. We're here to make sure we're resetting the economy, right? We're here to reset. We're in the marketplace. Dr. Karen Green has all of these tools and tips, and Anthony is the money man. And as we celebrate, right? We celebrate St. Patrick's Day in the green, right? We're encouraging our small businesses to go onto the website, to go onto www.jumpstarttheeconomy.us and have access to the videos, answer the questions that need to be answered, but also to go on and apply at www.applyppp.info and put your hat in the race so that you can get the money that you need to be able to sustain your business. And like Karen said, your credit is not a factor. And so again, Anthony, this is not going to happen anytime in the future where you're going to get a loan. Or you're going to be getting a loan and your credit is not a factor. You're going to be looking at all of the C's, all 5 C's when you're going to get that loan. So I encourage our listeners to take advantage.
There's some danger there that people think somehow this gravy train is going to continue, right?
No.
Congress the president is going to continue to come and,
Rescue.
keep throwing money at this thing.
Right.
And at some point, the bitter partisan politics that exist,
Mm-hmm.
you have the president and vice president on the road right now as we
Right.
speak,
Right.
talking about the American Rescue Plan that was just passed by Congress and signed by the president.
Mm-hmm.
But you have detractors, opponents that are in opposition to what has been created to help every American, all American, not, Republicans only, not Democrats only. This is all Americans.
That's right.
That everyone that needs the help is here for you.
Yeah.
And so clearly, when you have those detractors playing politics with people's lives, they can take that position of saying, oh, don't accept any help, because these are very wealthy men. They don't need this. What are you saying, Karen?
And woman.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes. Well, I was referring to specifically to U.S. Senator Rick Scott. Rick Scott. I'm referring to him specifically.
Yep.
The audacity of Senator Rick Scott to say to states and cities that are hurting,
don't take it.
Where they have to literally, because they don't have the funding in their budget to continue to fund the essential workers, the frontline workers,
mm-hmm.
the doctors, the teachers, the firemen, the policemen.
In a state where Disney is the largest employer,
right?
Half these folks have not been able to get their unemployment because the system didn't allow them to file. We're talking about people who have lost their jobs, the largest employer in the state of Florida.
And then we also talking about the cruise industry is there too.
Hello, and the cargo industry where we get our supplies from Central and South America.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
So it's critical. This is why it's so important that you all go out, business owners, those who are struggling, because here it is. It's not just to build back your business; it's to create employment for the unemployed.
That's right.
Absolutely. And so it's where's when the president said, they're fighting for the soul of this country,
mm-hmm.
because we have gone so far off the tracks, the rail,
mm-hmm.
okay, that playing politics with people's lives is wrong. It is wrong. You folks need to stop. Seriously, man. I can't take hearing and watching you guys, man. It's just ridiculous. People are dying. People on food line. People are homeless.
Part of this bill is to make sure that women and children don't go hungry. We have hunger in the United States in proportions that the food banks.
That's right.
People are hiding in using their friends' cars, drive-by food pickup. So this bill is going to provide feeding, that we're going to have food provisions, match the states with the funding for making sure that nobody in America goes hungry.
Right.
So I'm excited about this, Terry. I think
we're excited about it too.
We're almost evangelists, making sure that people get the message. This is not partisan. This is human survival by building it back better.
That's right. And one of the things I wanted to add, even here in New York, a lot of what we did was volunteer at the food banks, because I know for the Campaign for Hunger, which is run here in New York, they had huge lines. And I mean, she said last year through the March period, the year before last in 2019, they gave about 1 million pounds of food that year. She said last year, because of COVID, they were giving 1 million pounds away a month.
Yeah.
A month. And so that's a huge difference in people needing food. And so, that's also, when you get COVID and you have to do quarantine, those types of community services, they actually deliver food to those individuals that are in quarantine. If they need food, they actually take bags of food to them. And so, the food banks and the Campaign for Hunger and all of those, and I'm sure you have those in your communities as well. But it's very important that this bill addresses that need.
And Terry, you took a good point. The nonprofits who are doing smaller scale, not like large second harvest, nonprofits who are helping the community, feeding, nurturing, protecting, securing, you're all eligible for this PPP loan application as well.
Yes.
So take advantage of this. The smaller nonprofits, go online and go and apply to see how you can sustain your companies as well, because we need you.
That's right.
And that's a good point, because where in terms of when government has resources that it needs to deploy and get to the communities, no one does a better job than the local communities.
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
And if in the absence of these local nonprofit organizations, if they're not there, a huge segment of the community or population are not going to be served.
That's true. That's true.
And so
you heard it on your show, Anthony. Money has gone back to the federal government in cases where we had nobody to disperse it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so being able to now have those nonprofits eligible to get funding is super duper important, because you need all hands on deck.
That's right.
You need every available resource, every available organization. Then, because $1.9 trillion is a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
You can't, talking about reopening the schools, getting returning to in-classroom learning. You can't say that's what should happen, but you're not going to give them the tools that they need.
Right.
You got to fund, you got to give the necessary fund that over and above what the schools need, so they're able to create that right environment for the teachers.
Right, because it needs to be safe. It needs to be clean. There needs to be ventilation. They have to social distance properly. We're saying open up the schools, but we need to make sure that we're opening safely. And the same thing with all other services, right? So we're talking about open the restaurants back. And I'm for one, I'm ready to go back and have a good dinner at a restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
I want to make sure that it's safe and the environment is safe. And so this money is for all of that. And like Karen said, it's for housing. For the first time, we're addressing housing. A lot of individuals weren't able to work, so they couldn't pay their rent. But also it's addressing landlord needs too, right?
Landlords.
Like the landlords, the smaller landlords, they're depending on the rent that they're not collecting, and they're out of work. And so it's hard all around. And so I'm super excited to talk on the marketplace and to be a part of Reset and encourage individuals to go on and apply for this money. The nonprofits are eligible, the solopreneurs are eligible, all of these businesses are eligible. And I just want to make sure that they're getting the money in their hands and on the streets, so that we can build back better, so that we can, have our communities whole again. And quite frankly, a lot of our businesses weren't in the black in the beginning, right? So now this is an opportunity for us to for us to meet that digital divide with this digital transformation. And Anthony, I am super excited that individuals that apply for PPP on our platform will now have the digital tools to be able to get up and running in that space, because a lot of the small businesses, I do business development, they were struggling because they didn't have a website, or their websites weren't up to date. They didn't have a space to pay for their goods. They didn't have anybody to deliver food for their restaurants or deliver services. And so this is an opportunity for them to be able to do that through this platform. And so I'm super excited about that as well. We're doing great things in the marketplace. We're resetting, we're organizing, energizing, and making sure that the money is back on the street. And so all of those that are listening to us today, we hope that you continue to tune in on Wednesdays from 1:30, from 1:30 to 2:30 with Dr. Karen Green and Anthony and I, so that we can give you the tools, the tips, and the nuggets to get back on the streets, to get into the black, and to make sure that you're running your business successfully. So this is exciting times.
Thank you, ladies. Time goes really quickly when you're having fun and having a lot to share. Until next week. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Stay free.
Until next week.
Bye.